Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist congregation of Venice that we call UCOV. I'm Janet Knudsen and I'm the worship associate today. Our worship leader is our minister, Reverend Amy Petrie Shaw. But it takes more than just the two of us to make this service happen. And today I'm going to try to name them for you. Hopefully I won't leave anybody out. Music is provided by our fabulous pianist, Lisa Frank. Administrative support is provided by Eileen Howe. Sound, visuals, and recording is provided today by Mo Morrison and Eddie Keffel. Security provided by Steve Leapley. Our greeters today are Kathleen Schwartz and Eileen Leapley. Refreshments are provided today by Jean Barlow and Mo Morrison. The flowers by Sue Lindemer. And Dave Williams will be our collector. Thank you all for all that you do for UCOV. Here at UCOV, we try to center love and welcome and to journey together in ways that affirm and support one another. You are welcome here, no matter who you are, if you're willing to join in this community of support and caring. We are pleased that you have chosen to be with us today. Is there anyone here for the first time that would like to? I see a hand going up right now in the back row here. Anyone else here for the first time? Okay, great. We'll get to you in a moment. If you could just tell us your name and where you are from.
Hi, I'm Tara. I'm from Atlanta. I am visiting my mom who lives here in Venice.
Excellent. Welcome, Tara. And Jean, over in the, if you wouldn't mind raising, never mind. We've got Marsha on the job.
Hi, my name is Sherry DeVries. I live here in Venice. I run the Mothers Helping Mothers. I'm the director of that nonprofit up in Sarasota, and I just am here and excited for the message.
Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else visiting? Or maybe they've come back for the second or third time? All right. I guess I need to give a shout out to our microphone carriers too, Marsha and Jean. I just have a couple of announcements today. Please join us on the lanai immediately following the service for refreshments and fellowship. Today we are wishing a fond and sad farewell to our dear friend Anna Dralios, who is moving to Atlanta to be near her daughter and granddaughter. If you haven't already done so, please sign one of the goodbye cards on the lanai. The Death and Grief Support Group will meet on Wednesday at 1:30 in Waters Hall. Does anyone have any other announcements? We are now entering into sacred space, so please silence any electronic devices, especially your cell phone. Our chalice lighting words come from Love Remains the Center by Eric Hepburn. We light this flame to remind us love is the center. As we grow and connect, mature and deepen, love remains the center. When the light of truth burns all else away, love remains. Lisa will now play the prelude.
Well, good morning, everybody. I'm Reverend Amy Petrie Shaw, and I am so glad you are taking time out of your morning to be here today. It is lovely to see you. We're going to be talking about a slightly sensitive subject this morning. We're talking about sensuality and sexuality. And as many of you may be aware, over the last, 8, 9 years, the Christian nationalists have spent more and more time letting us know that they think there should be enough space in our bed for us, our partner, and an entire church. And I don't know about you, but there isn't enough space in my bed for a church to be in there with me. And so we're going to talk about that a little bit today. What, if any, role religion has in what you do on your mattress or anywhere else. And I want to begin by reminding us that our bodies are sacred, just the way they are. And I'm using these words by Reverend Julian Jamaica Soto. You may think it's fairly harmless if you hate your body and wish someone would just airbrush you. And no, there is no other you. There is no other house for your beating heart. And even though that you accept your very flesh and frame, it is an opening for less of your humanity, yours and someone like you. Every single time that you make yourself smaller in space or in value, your voice and your hands and your eyelashes are more hemmed in by a story about you that you never even told. And this, while it may not murder you, is the opposite of life. Then you are less awake, less available for all the other erosions, floods upon landslides of lives that some people have forgotten to count. Yours, the others, the disabled kid down the street that everyone just calls wheelchair, the brown mama nursing a brown baby with sunshine of her nature. Your body may be challenging, but in every way, it keeps you alive. It is the altar of my gratitude. So thank you for bringing your whole selves into this space today. Let us worship here together. UCOV is a welcoming and caring community which is open to anyone who respectfully enters here. We encourage spiritual growth, seek meaning, and pursue justice together. Please join me now in reading the words of our covenant, the promise of how we will be together, and they are in the back of your pink sheets. In a climate of joy, goodwill, and trust, this congregation covenants to treat one another with kindness and respect, to listen with openness and acceptance, to support and protect the environment of which we are all a part, to solve problems responsibly as we grow and change, to encourage learning and nurture the growth of diverse human spirits, and to dedicate time, talent, and resources in an effort to make a difference in local and world communities. In the spirit of our free religious heritage, we promise these to one another. Did pretty well on that. Okay, our opening hymn this morning is number 128, For All That Is Our Life. And we are going to do verses 1, 2, and 4. 1, 2, and 4 this morning. So please rise in body or spirit as you are willing and able for hymn 128, For All That Is Our Life. It's a time in our service when we do our offering, and every week we do this with levity because giving should never hurt. A young preacher was upset because his preaching was so darn poor that the offerings to the church were down and attendance was starting to falter. An older minister pulled him aside and said, "Look, start the sermon off with a bang and you'll get their attention, like this." And the older minister stood up and declaimed grandly, "I spent the best years of my life in the arms of a woman not my wife." And as the young minister gasped, the older minister said, "And she was my mother." And back at home, the young preacher thought, "This is good. I got to use that one." Forging ahead in his next sermon, he started with, "I spent the best years of my life in the arms of a woman not my wife," and as predicted, the whole congregation gasped, and the preacher paused and forgot the punchline. After a few terrifyingly silent minutes, he said, "And I can't remember who she was." As you can guess, it didn't help the offering played very much at all. Given that I know where I spent the best years of my life and I'm not going to tell on myself in church, this morning's offering will now be given and gratefully received. Thank you all for these gifts and for absolutely everything that you do for the life and the work of this community. You all are amazing. It's as a community of human hands and human hearts that we come together here to bear witness and minister to one another as we struggle with life's sorrows and celebrate life's joys. This is our time of sharing those joys and concerns, so if you have something to share, you can raise your hand. Someone will bring you a microphone. Typically, it's Marcia and Jean. Please share only those stories that are yours to tell. During Joys and Concerns, I will light candles for us up here. Any other point in the service, you're welcome to come up and light for yourself. So if you have something you'd like to share, please raise a hand.
Hi, I'm Belva McNair. My husband Tony celebrates 50 years in the Rotary Club this month.
Awesome.
50 years.
My name is Jim. I'm from New England. I'm here visiting my dad. Today, August 25, 95 years old. Today is his birthday for Paul Rockwell. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Anna Dralius, and as you've heard, I will be leaving Venice and the community, and I just want to express my deep, deep gratitude for your accepting me among you, for welcoming, for befriending me at a difficult time in my life. And I will not say goodbye. I will say I'll see you later, because you're in my heart and I will come back. Thank you.
May the love of this community hold all who need love and concern. May the light of our community shine on the broken places of the world. May we never look away when we're needed. May those who are grieving be comforted and those who are tired find rest. May the broken places be healed, and may those who are filled with joy and laughter be abundant.
Our first reading is A Liberal Theology of Sexuality by Gretchen Haley. When we talk about a liberal theology and ethic of sexuality, we need to start in our vulnerable, needy bodies. In real life, in the struggle to navigate our embodied neediness with others in an embrace of the still possible mutual wholeness and transformation. Any theology of sex that doesn't start with the body fails to address those implicit and injuring messages many of us and our culture carry. Early Christian thinkers, influenced by Plato, Aristotle, and Hellenism, imagined human life dualistically, body and soul separate. The soul was eternal and of God. The body was sinful and to be overcome in service of saving the soul. A liberal theological anthropology, that is, an understanding of the human person, refuses to separate the parts in any way, but rather approaches humanity as one of body, mind, spirit, all one, all connected, alive, indivisible, all gifts of God or of the universe, all worthy of love and belonging, inherently so, as we say. The body is not something to be overcome in this framework, but is rather to be honored, respected, loved. Its regular workings and needs are not shameful or dirty, or requiring purification or containment. Bodies are funny, mysterious, beautiful, messy, and changing, as humans are funny, mysterious, beautiful, messy, and changing. That bodies become hungry for food or for touch is simply true. Not good, not bad, just true. That bodies take pleasure in food or touch is also true. Still not inherently good or bad, just true. Most of all, bodies, as they are indivisibly life, humanity, personhood, are vulnerable, as life is vulnerable. We go to great lengths to control and avoid this reality, to assert and appear otherwise. We are susceptible to illness, injury, aging. Our hearts hurt literally or figuratively, often both, and often the distinction is imperceptible. Bodies that hurt can also be healed, and because bodies and spirits and minds are one, the hurt may show itself in a particular place, yet the pain will be felt everywhere, distinctly unlovely and undesirable. So too the healing, everywhere, exquisitely consoled. In the midst of all the ways that life tears us apart, sex can pull our pieces back together, tenderly, clumsily, beautifully. And when it does, whether in the context of casual or committed relationships, sex can be holy and sacred.
Our meditation today is a piece called Embodiment and Sexuality, a Meditation by Reverend Seth Carrier Ladd. Spirit of life and love, may we find appreciation today and in our lives for our embodiment. We are physical creatures, mind, spirit, and soul housed within our bodies. Our bodies, our physical form, allow us to experience the world. Taste chocolate chip cookies fresh from the oven. Touch the warmth and smoothness of a baby's skin. Sight, see the blossoming colors of sunrise and sunset. Sound, the laughter of friends and family. Smell, the aroma of fresh baked bread. In particular today, may we find gratitude for our sexuality. May we be grateful for and appreciate our gender identities, our sexual orientations, our physical senses. May we appreciate the pleasure, the intimacy, the connection that comes with and is part of our sexuality. May we also remember that for many, sexuality can bring a variety of emotions: shame and sadness and trauma, anger, pain and hurt. For all the joy and goodness that embodiment brings, it also has challenges. Aching joints and long-term health conditions, severe illness, and more. So today we honor the whole of ourselves. We also honor the whole spectrum of sexual experience, holding the joys and all that richness and the sorrows and all that fullness in our hearts. Please join me in 1 minute of silent thought, meditation, or prayer.
Our second reading is called The First Pair of Underpants by Robin Tanner. I wonder, did God's heart, I mean the love, mushy, endearing part of God, that part, the heart that I don't really believe in as a thing with pulses. Anyway, did it break just a little when God realized, oh no, they have made leaves into underpants? If God says things like underpants. And then the weight hit God, like the first time you watch your child feel self-conscious, hold back the loud belly laugh, or worse yet, bring down their eyes because the shoes you bought aren't good enough. Did God's heart break just a little to see the beauty of freedom slip through their hearts as the heat and heaviness of shame washed over the two in that garden who now knew not enough? No more naked, no more belly laugh, and for the first time wondered, am I good enough? Did God cry a little, maybe even turn away so they wouldn't see the tears? Please rise now in body or spirit and join in singing hymn number 100, I've Got Peace Like a River, verses 1, 2, and 3.
So I want to start off today by being a little bit of a smart aleck, but not much. Getting a little audience participation here. How many of you heard, nice girls don't like sex? Who got told that? Anybody? Couple? You shouldn't want to have sex if you're not married to the person. Who heard that? We got a few. Girls don't kiss girls and boys don't kiss boys. I heard that one. If you masturbate, you'll get hair on your palm. Now, we all know these are terrible. And you may have heard ones that were even worse. They get much, much sillier depending on where you grew up. But the gist of the matter is, for many of us, it was made clear that sex was something that was both important and able to get you in a lot of trouble if you did it wrong. And we weren't even talking about how you actually do it, because for most of us, I don't know about you all, but I was in 4th grade and the girls had to go to that classroom and the boys had to go to that classroom. And it was a great mystery what the other team got told, because we weren't allowed to tell each other. Which is why there are a whole bunch of grown men today that are calling current politician Tampon Tim, because they don't even know how tampons work. You think about it, we didn't get told what the other team got told, because it was all some kind of mystery. And somehow the church was supposed to tell us exactly how we were supposed to participate in this, or the synagogue, or the mosque. Religion was somehow supposed to fill in all the gaps around what your family wanted you to do, what science said to do, what you figured out with your own little mind. Religion was supposed to somehow pull all this together. It didn't work all that well. Jesuit priest and philosopher Pierre Teilhard de Chardin said, "We are not human beings having a spiritual experience. We are spiritual beings having a human experience." And part of that human experience is all that mixed up ball of how we deal with sex, sensuality, and sexuality. Our senses tell us what our human body is experiencing. They feed us information and they get responses from our brain and from our nervous system. That's the science side of this. We behave according to what our bodies are being told by sight, smell, taste, hearing, and touch. We also have proprioception, which tells us where our little wobbly limbs are. And reaction to gravity is in there somewhere. And we make decisions with that input. We decide what's good and what's bad. We don't just act and react, we judge. In isolation, without things that could hurt us, without religion, without civilization, that'd be simple. That would mean that anything that smelled nice was good, anything that smelled bad was bad, sounds that were pleasing would be good, touch that we enjoyed would be good. In a safe and totally supportive world, there would be billions of us running all over this planet, yelling, "You only live once, seize the day," and doing whatever felt good to our bodies. As a species, though, that doesn't quite work, because we came to exist in a world where we have to work to ensure our survival, and some things want to kill and eat us. Some things are dangerous by their very nature. Almonds, they're great, they're very tasty. Cyanide smells like almonds. Our interpretation of sensory input isn't just what's pleasing or displeasing, but also what tells us that something dangerous or unhappy is about to happen. Where I'm from, the smell of cucumbers is lovely. But in the absence of any suspicious vegetables hanging around, it probably means you are within snuggling distance of a copperhead snake. They happen to smell like cucumbers. That's usually an unwelcome event. The sound of a tiger purring is beautiful if you're not in his cave. And bearskin feels amazing if the bear isn't wearing it and 6 inches from you. The survival of our species is based in part, the science of how we survive is based on our ability to give a moral value to sights, smells, and touches. So we became willing to accept that some sensory input, while it's not dangerous on its own, not painful, could still be unfavorable because it meant something unfavorable was close by. So where does religion come in? Where does all this crossover with sexuality? There's a German philosopher, Hegel, Georg Wilhelm Friedrich Hegel. And back in the 1800s, he was looking at how this all ties together. This is a quote from Peter Kraft Hodgkin's books of his writing. Hegel said, "By its very nature, religion is not merely a systemic investigation of God, God's attributes, the relation of the world and ourselves to God, and the permanence of our souls. We could learn this by reason alone, or be aware of it by other means. Nor is religious knowledge merely a matter of history or argumentation. Religion engages the heart. It influences our feelings and the determination of our will. And this is so in part because our duties and our laws obtain powerful reinforcement by being represented to us as the laws of God, and in part because our notion of the exaltedness and goodness of God fills our heart with admiration. And so religion provides morality and the wellspring of its activity with a new and nobler impetus. It sets up a new and stronger claim against the pressure of sensual impulses." What does that all mean? It means that somebody standing up on a podium or pulpit claiming that their invisible friend told them that you shouldn't go sleep with that guy carries more weight than a guy standing next to you saying, "I don't think you should go sleep with that guy." We want by nature to make our words carry more weight. So we wrap religion around that personal morality, and then we intertwine it with culture. Religion itself came into being for two reasons. It helps to explain the world, and it allows a moral authority for the role of law and the organization of society. Now, it's possible to lead people based on intelligence or strength, but again, it's much easier to do it if God said so. Christianity and Judaism and Islam all came into being during a period where sexuality and gender roles were carefully defined. Now let's think about why, because nobody ever talks about that. Not really. In a desert culture where people were often in small groups, isolated sometimes from one another, it was important to know your bloodline. It prevented inbreeding. It prevented bloody conflict. Rights and responsibilities and inheritance all hinged on membership in tribes and family lines, and weaker members of the groups were at risk of sexual violence without some kind of firm laws. Uncontrolled population growth could starve a tribe, and abandoned children or widowed women could do the same. Failure to have children could end a line, and children whose fathers were uncertain could destabilize a line into fighting factions as leaders tried to determine inheritance. In other words, 2,000 years ago, you had to understand, really get exactly who you were allowed to sleep with and who you were allowed to marry, and exactly what relationship and set of obligations every person in the community had to everybody else. And this became parts of the Christian Bible, the Jewish Talmud, the Islamic Quran, and they have been passed down to us. We have progressed a bit from making personal moral judgments about sensual input and allowing others to tell us what those moral judgments should be. And our species' inclination to save ourselves from danger has become a side door for society to step in and assume control about how we feel about what our senses tell us. And I love this quote. I love it. This is by Darrell Ray. He said, "Religion tries to give us maps of sexuality that are no better than a 2,000-year-old map of my hometown. In addition, each religion also tries to convince us that their map, and only their map, is never wrong or inaccurate." Today's American sexual norms are based primarily on 2,000-year-old scriptural guidelines. And no matter your own religious upbringing, You've been impacted by them. The do's and don'ts and rights and wrong. You should marry one person at a time. More than one is illegal. You shouldn't have sex with random people. Sex should cause children. Birth control is bad. We've all heard these. Pornography or lusting with people is wrong. How many of you remember Jimmy Carter talking about lusting after some woman in his heart? Bless that man's heart. Wanting sex is embarrassing. Not wanting is abnormal. Don't cuddle people you aren't partnered with. Cuddling has become a major sales industry in the last 10 years. There are companies based on having people that will come over and not have sex with you, but will cuddle you. Some kinds of sex are more right and natural than others, and fetishes and kinks will send you straight to hell. It's a 2,000-year-old list of stuff. As you use, we uphold the right of all people to engage in a free and responsible search for truth and meaning, and some of that meaning comes from what we do in the bedroom. You have the right to make your own responsible, moral, and ethical judgments about what literally feels right to you. Sex is momentary and sex is transcendent. That's from therapist Wendy Maltz. She says that's the paradox. The most intense physical sharing is gone in a matter of minutes, and yet it connects us to a larger energy, a life force. Sex reminds us of our limitations and our expansiveness as humans. We are alone and we are together. Sensual love does more than bring us together with a partner. How much you can and want to do depends on your age and your health. Sensuality can be a touch on the cheek, can be a warm cuddle, can be a foot massage. It can be a hot towel shave for someone you love dearly, or the rubbing of a head. Your obligation is this: to fulfill your search for meaning in a responsible way. That means that all relationships, no matter how fleeting, you have to remember 3 words: safe, sane, and consensual. That's the obligation that you owe yourself. That's religion in a nutshell for us. Safe, sane, and consensual. Consensual because your partner must be willing, adult, able to ethically and legally give informed permission for the interaction. Safe because both or all partners have to be well informed of the medical and physical risks involved in the proposed activity, including disease status, potential for damage. And sane because consent's not possible if a partner is in such an altered state from drugs or alcohol or mental illness or fear. They have to be able to say yes. But no matter how large your bed, it isn't big enough for a church to fit under those covers. So move out the steeples. Love who and however you love. Love them in ways that work for you. Enjoy what you enjoy without shame. Be honest and transparent in your relationship or relationships. Be safe. Get consent from a willing legal partner or partners. Understand the risks. Make responsible choices together. Those are the pieces that matter. Not what Muhammad or St. Paul or Moses would have thought about what brings you joy. Get the church out of your bed. Get the mosque, get the synagogue, get the preacher, get them out of there. I promise you, you will enjoy all that extra room. Amen. We extinguish this flame but we carry its fire and its passion into the world. Now, we are going to be brave today. Lord save us. We are trying hymn number 1017 in the teal hymnal, Building a New Way. Lisa is going to hit heavy on the melody line. We're trying to learn this one. Anything else I need to tell them? All right, we're going to go for this. We're going to try it. We can do it. I have faith in us. Building a New Way, please rise in body or spirit as you are willing and able. We made it. Hallelujah. Go into the world and love as you are called to love. Your calling is enough to make your love holy. Peace, ashe, and may it be so. Amen.